As tensions rise, 60 structures have been razed as part of the Bulldozer justice, leaving owners claiming that no prior notices were issued at all. The bigger question that looms, will Bulldozer justice bring the resolution that is needed on the ground? Now, in addition to New, fresh violence has erupted in Panipat as well, further escalating the situation. Meanwhile, at the Gurgaon Maha-panchayat, demands to release Hindu innocent brothers and men sparks controversy. The memorandum presented includes controversial demands such as the removal of a Sector 57 mosque and an economic boycott of Muslims. So, as a DGP, as a former top cop, what are your initial thoughts in the Bulldozer justice that is being carried out in New? It has led to the demolition of 60 new structures, including the hotel atop which the stones were finally pelted. How does this approach align with the principles of law and order particularly?
Khattar government has woken up after a deep slumber. All these activities were going on in New for a very long time. Sand mafia is active there. Cow slaughtering is openly taking place in New. Policemen, they can't dare to touch them because if they go in 5, 6 numbers, 7, 8, they will be gherowed and they will be, even weapons will be snatched from them. Ground situation in New is very bad. I know people who live there. And UP police has been taking stern action against these Mewatis. They have indulged in very severe kind of road holdups in UP and all sorts of crimes. They hijack the crawlers carrying cars, tractors, and they go inside Mewat, and then police cannot recover those vehicles. So all this encroachment on government land, it should not have been allowed. The government machinery should have been active right from the beginning, in my opinion. 9 years he is CM, Mr. Manohar Lal Khattar. Why action was not taken at that time? Even now, if action is being taken, I welcome it, because administration is very much within its rights to demolish such encroachments which have been made on government land. And if somebody has this feeling that injustice has been done, he can move a court of law. He can move a court of law. But
sir, but isn't it going to be a little too late?
Just a moment.
Right, sir.
This question cropped up in UP also, that why bulldozer action is being taken. There are files on each and every illegal construction. Mr. Kabir, if you do any illegal construction in UP, there will be a file in the concerning development authority. They will issue a notice, but they will not take action. So if people think that if notices were not issued to them, they are sadly mistaken. There are files on each illegal encroachment. They are supposed to keep files on such encroachments. And now, because demolitions are taking place, and demolitions are taking place of those people who have been found to have been involved in stone pelting and in communal clash, I welcome this. This should have happened long time back, and Haryana government should have woken up long time back.
All right. You know what, Mr. Jain, also at the same time, we've been in touch with Vikram Singh, who's also a former DGP of Uttar Pradesh, who was of the opinion that there are a lot of knee-jerk reactions that are now taking place in Haryana. I do agree with you, and I concede that, these are illegal constructions, and the common claim by the owners that, that no notice was issued to them might not hold as much of weightage. But from a very humanist perspective, there are other people living in a family as well. There are several little children, several other family members who now are out of a shelter because of, this house raising. Let me take this question with a lawyer who's with us on the panel. Prithviraj Sikka, advocate for the Supreme Court, is with us on the broadcast. Very warm welcome to you. Mr. Sikka, we're talking about this bulldozer violence that's happening in New. But whilst we're looking at the legal remedies of these owners who are claiming that, no notices were issued to them, what's your opinion on that? Any sort of legal remedies over there? Under the legal lens, how do we look at this?
If any person unauthorizedly occupied the government land or other land, then there is no need of notice. If unauthorized construction then there is a provision under Haryana Municipal Corporation Act to issue the notice for only 48 hours. So in that case, he can move to the court, not more than 3 days. And in the, but here his position is different. The accused who have unauthorizedly grabbed the land of the government or unauthorizedly raised the construction and living, most probably there are living Rohingyas and this Bangladeshi and all these persons, they are unauthorized migrant to the India. So this action is justified in that case because Haryana Municipal Corporation only issued a notice under Section 260 of the Haryana Municipal Corporation Act in respect of the unauthorized construction raised by without sanction of plan on your own land.
Right.
In this case, there is no provision, and they can demolish immediately.
But you know,
only
Mr. Sikka, at the same time, what about the other family members? I mean, I'm all for it. All offenders should be brought to justice by either hook or crook. I mean, that's the deal. And you know, like Mr. A.K. Jain was talking about, NU has become that epicenter for you know, all sorts of crimes, be it digital or physical. I'm saying, what about the other family members? Several other children, several other wives.
Family members,
Any sort of remedy for them?
No, they have no remedy because they are also unauthorized occupant of the land which does not belong to them.
All right. All right. Okay, Mr. Sikka, do stay on with us.
Most probably, government can put only camps and put them there.
That's exactly what I was asking. How can the government now step in and help them, support them in whatever way? That's all I'm worried about.
Government can only help the persons who are Indian citizens, but those who are not Indian citizens, migrants, and creating riots in India and unnecessarily damaging the properties. So those should be deported.
Right, right. You know, sir, we've looked at a Maha-panchayat that's taken place in Gurgaon as well. At that Maha-panchayat, which mind you was held when there were proper prohibitory orders that were in place. This Maha-panchayat takes place and there are hate speeches that are given out. For the lack and paucity of the news report with me, I'm going to refrain from saying exactly what was heard over there, but proper calls of economical boycott of Muslims, of saying that 1992 mein bhi hum jeete the, abhi bhi hame hi jeetna hai, and of course raising that mosque is situated in sector 57. In terms of the law and order and how, you know, procedural law and order is carried out, there is you know, imposition of 144, prohibitory laws are there, and Maha-panchayat like this is carried out. What do you think the administration should now do? If you were in the administration, how would you look at this Maha-panchayat? Mind you, there's a bigger call for a bigger Maha-panchayat already that's been placed.
Either I will not promulgate Section 144, and if I will promulgate, then I will ensure that it doesn't take place. That area should have been converted into a chhavani, a cantonment. There should have been tents of PAC or Haryana armed police on that land. This kind of panchayat where economic boycott of Muslims is being called and demands are being raised to demolish a mosque, they are all ruffian elements. Action should be taken against them. If Haryana government will not take action against them, they will never be able to control law and order situation, in my opinion, in Haryana. All these clashes will keep on taking place, sometimes in Panipat, sometimes in Ballabgarh, sometimes in Sohna and other places. It should not be allowed. There should be firm handling. The handling should be in the first place. You know what is the fault you can say of Haryana government? SP Nu was on leave that day. All the commotion was going on. There was social media warfare going on between Monu Manesar, Bittu Bajrangi, notorious criminals, and between Mayo Army and blogger from Pakistan. So why was SP on leave? If SP was on leave, then IG should have been there looking after the charge of SP, and entire route should have been sanitized.
Sir, have you heard? Sir, have you heard the memorandum? Have you heard the calls and the demands that have been made in that memorandum?
No. I have not read, but I have just read in Times of India and Indian Express that Tigra village or some village,
Right,
some
right, right.
panchayat
Fair enough,
was
sir. Fair
held.
enough, sir. In the same Indian Express copy, not
Yeah.
to put the daily at on the pedestal. In the Indian Express copy, they're talking about Sector 57 की मस्जिद को कैसे हटा देना है, economical boycott of Muslims and release of all innocent Hindu men. Now, in terms of the cops, the police, and the administration on the ground, how do you think they should handle the authorities? How should they handle such demands now, given that the situation is so tense right now, sir?
They should register a case against the organizers of such a Maha-panchayat. The Maha-panchayat should not have been allowed to take place at all. And now, if Maha-panchayat has taken place, then all the bigger Maha-panchayat will take place, and there will be all sorts of nonsensical demands. We should concentrate on what is to be achieved. We have to achieve that criminals in Nu who were responsible for brickbatting, for communal riot, should be brought to the books. They should be sent to jail. And a drive should be launched in Nu and neighboring areas. हम लोग क्या करते थे किसी भी law and order situation से पहले we used to take drastic preventive action against local criminals, notorious criminals.
Right.
We used to book them and send them to jail.
I
Why
remember
it
you
was
talking
not-
about the boxing technique also that needs to be carried out in all these yatras. It needs to be a
Yes.
box-like structure. But sir,
Yes,
what are going to be
should
some
be there.
potential implications of these demands on the ground? You've been a former top cop yourself.
Nothing will happen. They're nonsensical demands. Such people are there. They will glorify Monu Manesar. They will glorify Bittu Bajrangi. They don't have national interest. They don't keep national interest in mind. They have very petty thought process. And no heed should be paid to them. And police arrangements in that area, bandobast, should be strengthened. And if they create trouble, there should be a cane charged. Action should be taken against them. They will all sit quietly. Action should be taken. If Haryana government wants, if Rajasthan government wants that Haryana should hand over Monu Manesar to them, he should be arrested and handed over to Rajasthan government. There should
Right.
be intergovernmental cooperation between police forces and governments. Criminal elements should not be harbored by any state against another state.
Sir, I mean, it's unfortunate that we're so close to the Lok Sabha elections and, Haryana and Rajasthan ruled by Congress and BJP respectively. It's a far cry to be expecting our state governments to work in tandem.